If you've been switching shampoos every month, rinsing with cold water, or air drying your hair because you thought that was best for it, I need you to stop right now. Because all the rules you've been taught are making your hair worse. I see you trying so hard, wasting your money and getting discouraged when your hair still feels dry, looks dull, and won't cooperate. You are not crazy for feeling like nothing works. You are not bad at hair. You've just been following rules that are failing you. Rules made by a beauty industry that makes you feel like you aren't doing enough, just so that they can sell you more products and take your money. The truth is so much simpler. If you're ready to see what your hair is truly capable of, stick with me as I go over the 7 hair rules that need to go in the trash. Starting with one that I know you've done before: never sleep with wet hair. This rule says that if you go to bed with wet hair, it's gonna break off while you sleep, leaving you with a ton of damage. And there's a tiny bit of truth to this, but you're being misled because you aren't getting the whole story. Hair has a special relationship with water because water is like a reset button. You may have noticed that when your hair gets wet, it's much straighter. And that's because water temporarily broke the bonds within your hair. And when those bonds get wet, they temporarily break, causing your hair to lose its shape, and that's why it's straighter. But those bonds do more than just hold shape. They also hold the structure of your hair together. So your hair is slightly weaker, so when you go to sleep with wet hair and it rubs against the pillow, causing friction, that friction makes a bunch of hair break off. But let's come back to reality for a second. You've probably slept with wet hair and you didn't end up with a pile of breakage on your pillow. And that's because hair does not break that easily. Even when it's wet, it's not a thing. And sure, for the internet people, if you completely fried your hair with a flat iron, you will get some breakage. But normal people do not need to worry about their hair falling out because they accidentally rubbed it against the pillow. It even sounds crazy when I say it. However, sleeping with wet hair is the #1 source of bad hair days. Because as your hair dries out overnight, that means you're locking in whatever crazy shape your hair dried in while you were sleeping on it. You don't want that. It is totally safe to sleep with wet hair. It's not gonna break off on you, but you may have terrible morning hair that you won't be able to fix. Rule number 2, you need to alternate shampoos. This rule says that you need to switch your shampoo and conditioner because if you don't, your hair will build up a resistance to it and it'll stop responding. But this rule comes from the fact that most shampoos don't actually get your hair clean, which sounds insane. There's actually a good reason for it. Many women struggle with frizz, so shampoo brands realized that if they added shiny conditioning agents to coat their hair, it wouldn't get as frizzy, and women loved it.
Sign me up.
But there's a dark side to that. By coating your hair instead of cleansing it, buildup begins to form. And after a while, there's so much buildup on top of your hair that it doesn't shine anymore. But women started to notice that if they switch shampoos, their hair would look better and shinier again. The reason for that is because they happened to switch to a stronger shampoo, which got rid of the buildup and brought the shine back. This is also where the advice of use a clarifying shampoo once a month comes from, to get rid of that gross buildup your shampoo is leaving behind because it is not getting your hair clean. But what if I told you that you have the option of getting your hair clean every wash and that your hair can stay shiny all the time because you can? You just need to get a shampoo strong enough to remove that buildup and a conditioner strong enough to get rid of the frizz without adding buildup. I call this your shampoo and conditioner soulmate because it gives you perfectly shiny hair all the time and you can use it forever. Because hair cannot build up a resistance to shampoo. It's dead, so it can't evolve or adapt. It has no idea what's going on because it's not alive. It just needs you to stop coating it in gross buildup. If you're interested in that, you can find your shampoo soulmate for your specific hair type. Check out my recommended product list in the description. But the next rule is something that's getting a ton of hype recently. Rule number 3, always rinse with cold water. This rule says that after you wash your hair, you should always rinse with cold water because when your cuticle, the outside layer of your hair, is exposed to cold, it starts to contract. And this is a good thing because that creates a flat surface over your hair, which reflects more light and gives you more shine. And you're probably like, Chris, what do you have against shiny hair? And the answer is nothing. And let me explain. I love shiny hair.
Me too.
But 10 years ago, when I first opened my salon, we used to do this cold water rinse every time. But one of those times, I'm washing Leslie's hair and she can't stand it anymore. She goes, can we just stop doing the cold water thing? It's torture. I hate it.
I did hate it.
And we had other clients at the shampoo bowls next to me and everyone gets real quiet. It's like crickets. But after a few seconds, one of them goes, yeah, I like warm water too. Can we just do that? And I'm not about to fight with clients, so we rinse with warm water, but I'm still worried about how their hair is gonna turn out without that cold rinse. Because here I am, still a brand new business owner, trying to make it work, so I want everything to be absolutely perfect. But after we finished, I looked really closely at everyone's hair. There's absolutely no difference, because here's what we learned. As soon as your hair goes back to room temperature, the cold rinse effect is completely gone. It only lasts like 5 minutes. And there's 100 other ways to seal your cuticle that are more permanent and give way more shine than a cold rinse ever will. You wanna use products like leave-in conditioner and hair oil because health products are the key to shine, not cold water. Throw this myth in the pile next to the Loch Ness Monster and Bigfoot. Rule number 4, avoid sulfates in shampoos. This rule says that sulfates are harsh on your hair and that if you use them, you'll strip the natural oil from your hair, causing dryness and frizz, which isn't entirely accurate. But first, what the heck is a sulfate anyway? It's basically a cleansing molecule that looks like a stick. One side of that stick attaches to oil and the other side attaches to water. So when you put it in your hair, the oil side finds oil to attach to, and when you rinse, the other side attaches to the water, takes the oil down the drain with it. It's actually really cool. So why do sulfates have a reputation for being harsh? Because sulfates are in a ton of things like dish soap. And if you use dish soap on your hair, yes, it's gonna be harsh. But sulfates in shampoos are totally different. Even the cheap ones are diluted enough to not be harsh on your hair. And think about it, shampoo brands are not intentionally putting ingredients that destroy your hair into their shampoo. The sulfate-free movement has nothing to do with harshness or sulfates. It's really about getting you to buy the newer, expensive products that do exactly the same thing. Don't be fooled. Rule number 5, air drying is safer than heat styling. This rule says that you should avoid heat styling at all costs because it damages your hair. And that if you air dry it instead, you'll see an improvement in the health of your hair. And I know you're probably like, Chris, there's no way you're gonna convince me that heat styling is healthier. And I hear you, but hear me out. The heat styling versus air drying debate is like how people are afraid of flying, but not afraid of driving, even though it's way more dangerous. The reason planes are safer is because pilots know what they're doing, and heat styling is the exact same way.
Are you saying drivers don't know what they're doing?
If you know what you're doing and you aren't flat ironing 3 times a day with no heat protection, it's actually a much safer way to go. I know women who haven't heat styled in years, hoping that their hair would magically get better and come to life, but it never does because hair doesn't work like that. I get you're probably intimidated by heat styling, thinking it's not worth learning because it's damaging, but it's not. Your stylist is not destroying your hair when they blow dry it. So instead of shoving your hair up in a bun and neglecting it, give heat styles a shot. Wavy styles, curly styles, straight styles. You can have long, healthy hair and heat style as long as you remember 2 things. Number 1, give your hair 3 days rest between heat styles. And number 2, always use a heat protectant. That's all you need to do to be completely safe. Rule number 6, frequent trims eliminate split ends. This rule says that as your ends split, they need to be cut off immediately, because if they're not, they will travel up your hair and ruin the whole thing. But first off, split ends do not migrate. They're not contagious like some weird hair disease, and the reason is obvious once you understand where they come from. Let's say you just got a fresh trim and you have new healthy ends. Unlike the rest of your hair, it has a hole in the end of it. Moisture leaks out of that hole, so the end begins to dry out, crack, and split the same way dry skin would into what we call a split end. But the key mechanism here that creates the split end is the dryness. Dryness that is only created by that hole that leaks moisture. If you look at the hair above that end, it doesn't have a hole for any moisture to leak out of. And because of that, it cannot dry out, crack, or split. But if you get another trim, you're creating a new end that's even higher up, which is also just gonna dry out, crack, and then split. So you get the exact same split end, except with shorter hair. And by the way, you're paying for the pleasure, which is complete insanity. Save your money. There is no reason to get trims every 6 weeks. It's not a thing. Here's the correct strategy. After you get a trim and your ends are nice and fresh, but not splitting yet, you want to apply hair oil to them daily. This prevents them from drying out, so they never have an opportunity to dry out, crack, and split. It stops split ends from happening in the first place, so you won't need another trim for a very long time. Rule number 7, natural ingredients are better for healthy hair. The idea here is that natural plant-based ingredients have nutrients that your hair needs to stay healthy. And that is absolutely true. Vitamins A, E, C, B, and antioxidants all contribute to healthy hair. So when you see a bunch of influencers making DIY hair products at home with plants that have these essential nutrients, it makes you think, am I missing out on something? Is their hair getting something that mine isn't? The answer is absolutely not. All the influencers you see doing this stuff, they're role playing to get views because it looks cool. This is never part of their actual hair routine. And while these nutrients are very important for hair health, your hair can't absorb them because it's dead. Like your fingernails. It doesn't have a circulatory system. There's no blood flow to absorb the nutrients. So you might as well be rubbing it on the labubu. Instead, you want to eat foods that contain those nutrients. That way, your stomach absorbs them, sends them to your hair follicle through your bloodstream, so it makes nice, healthy, high-quality hair that already has those nutrients baked into it.
Like a pie.
Sure. When companies put vitamins or nourishing botanicals on the labels of their products, they're straight up lying. Do not fall for it. It's not a thing. But if you're looking for the best shampoo for your hair type, I got you covered with my recommended product list. It's in the description of this video and has a hair type quiz which walks you through everything. Be safe out there, rebels. Have a good one.